Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. We will discuss the development of urogenital system. Why we study these two systems, that is the urinary system as well as genital system together. Embryologically, parts of these two systems, that is the kidneys and the gonads, they develop from the intermediate mesoderm. Secondly, in adult males, urinary system and the genital system, they use a common duct for passage of urine and semen, that is the urethra. Or thirdly, in case of adult females, urethra and vaginal canal, they open into a common space between the two labia minora known as vestibule of the vagina. Now we will start first the urinary system. The urinary system consists of kidneys, which are excretory organs, then ureters, which convey the urine from the kidneys to the urinary bladder, which is a temporarily storing organ which stores the urine for some time. Then finally a duct which conveys the urine from the urinary bladder outside, that is known as urethra. The part of the urinary system, kidney, ureter, urinary bladder and urethra. Kidneys, they develop from the intermediate mesoderm, which extend along the dorsal body wall of the embryo. As the transverse folding takes place, the intermediate mesoderm separates from the somites or paraxial mesoderm and it moves a little ventrally. So in this way, it forms a longitudinal column on the dorsal body wall. This longitudinal column is known as urogenital ridge. So here you can see this is the medial most part, paraxial mesoderm, and this small rounded part, intermediate mesoderm. So this intermediate mesoderm form a longitudinal column known as urogenital ridge. Its ventromedial part is known as gonadal ridge because the gonads develop from it, while its dorsolateral part, from which the kidneys develop, it is known as nephrogenic cord. And now here you can see the third part of mesoderm, that is the lateral plate, which has been splitted into two parts. Now the kidneys, they develop in three sets. First of all, pronephros, then mesonephros, then metanephros. The development starts in the beginning of 4th week of development and completes on 30 weeks of intrauterine life. Now in this diagram again you can see this germinal disc which contains 3 layers. The blue layer is ectoderm, while intermediate portion is the mesoderm and the lowermost layer is the endoderm. So intermediate mesoderm is divided into 3 parts: paraxial mesoderm, intermediate mesoderm and lateral plate mesoderm. Now in the second portion you can see that transverse folding is taking place. After transverse folding, the yolk sac is incorporated into the body of the embryo and forms the gut. So here in the last diagram you can see this one is the urogenital ridge, this one which is present on the lateral side of dorsal artery on both sides, right and left urogenital ridge. Now in human being, 3 sets of kidney they develop. The first one, which starts development in the beginning of 4th week, and it it develops from the nephrogenic ridge in the neck region or in the cervical region. So here few tufts of corpuscles develop. They are poronephric ducts, and these ducts they open into a common duct which is known as poronephric duct. This poronephric duct proceeds downward and it opens into a cavity known as cloaca. The poronephros does not work in human being and it degenerates at the end of 4th week of development. Poronephros work only in primitive fishes, but otherwise in other vertebrates this is not functionally present. Then here in this diagram you can see this in the cervical region, this purple corpuscles, they are poronephric tubules. Then in the end of 4th week of development, second set of kidney develops, which is known as mesonephros, intermediate kidney or anterum kidney. This mesonephros develops from the nephrogenic cord in the thoracic and upper lumbar region. Here, as in the middle embryo, you can see mesonephric tubules, they are developing. They develop and they open into the same tube which was known as poronephric duct. Now it is known as mesonephric duct, opens at the same place, that is in the cloaca. So this mesonephric kidney, it is functional. It starts functioning in the 5th week of development and it functions for 5 weeks up till 10th week of development. Then is the here you can see this one is the mesonephric tubules, and utilizing the same duct, that is the poronephric duct, which is opening into the cloaca. Then comes the permanent kidney or metanephros or hind kidney. These are the 3 names: permanent kidney, metanephros or hind kidney. The metanephros develops from 2 sources. One is the metanephric blastema or metanephrogenic blastema, which is the caudal-most part of the nephrogenic cord. And the second is ureteric bud or metanephric diverticulum. This diverticulum or ureteric bud arises as an outgrowth from the mesonephric duct near its entrance into the cloaca. These 2 are the structures from which the permanent kidney or metanephros they develop. I repeat, one is the ureteric bud or metanephric diverticulum, other is the metanephrogenic blastema or metanephric blastema. These are the 2 sources from which the permanent kidney develop. So here you can see in this diagram, this one is the metanephric mesenchyme, which is known as metanephric blastema, while this one from the mesonephric duct ureteric bud is arising. These 2 sources they take part in the development of permanent kidney. Now the ureteric bud, which give rise to the ureter, renal pelvis, major and minor calyces and some collecting tubules, it arises from the mesonephric duct and develops cranially. Then it come in contact with the metanephric blastema, that is the caudal-most part of the nephrogenic ridge. So under the inductive influence of metanephric blastema, this ureteric bud starts dividing. It divides dichotomously, that is, it divides into two, then these two divides into four, these four divide into 8, 16, 32, 64, 128, and so on. So in this way, it starts division dichotomously under the inductive influence of metanephric blastema. Now, as the ureteric bud divides, the metanephric blastema, which is present on the ureteric bud as a metanephric cap, it starts dividing as the ureteric bud divides. First it divides into 2, 8, 2, 4, 8, 16, and so on. So ultimately the ureteric bud, its stalk, which is single, it is converted into the ureter, and then its dilated portion become renal pelvis. Then first 4 generations of branches, they coalesce, they condenses, and they form the major calyces. Then the next 4 generation, they form the minor calyces, and the further generations, they divide repeatedly, and at the end they become curved, and they are known as arch collecting duct. Now, as the arch collecting ducts form, the metanephric blastema, it lies as a small pieces at the top of each arch collecting duct. In the beginning, it is solid and is known as metanephric mass. Then it acquires a cavity by degeneration of the central cells. So in this way, now it is known as metanephric vesicle. Then these vesicle, they become elongated and they become S-shaped. Then they develop into nephron. The proximal end of the S-shaped metanephric tubule, it become invaginated and forms the Bowman capsules. Then the renal vessels, they penetrate into it and they form the glomerulus. Then the next portion become proximal convoluted tubule, then loop of Henle and distal convoluted tubules. Then the distal convoluted tubule become continuous with the collecting ducts. So here in this diagram you can see this is the ureteric bud. It is dividing repeatedly and so on. So in this way it stalk gave rise to the ureter, dilated portion gave rise to the pelvis, and then it gave rise to first 4 generation coalesce can form major calyces, then next 4 generation form the minor calyces, and then collecting ducts. Now in this diagram you can see here in the first diagram on the left, metanephric mass is present as a cap. Then metanephric mass, central cells have degenerated and it is known as metanephric vesicle. Then it has become elongated metanephric tubule. Then the proximal end has become invaginated, and it has been invaginated by blood capillaries. So blood capillaries form glomerulus, while the invaginated part forms the Bowman capsule. Then is the proximal convoluted tubule. Then finally loop of Henle and proximal convoluted tubule, it become continuous with the collecting duct. So in this way, nephrons and collecting ducts, they develop. A uniferous tubule, collectively nephron and collective duct, they are known as uriniferous tubule. Consist of 2 parts, nephron which develops from the metanephric blastema and the collecting tubule which develops from the ureteric bud or metanephric diverticulum. So the nephrons, they form up till end of the term. In intrauterine life, the nephrons form. After birth, no new nephrons form, but only the increase in their size that increases the size of the kidney. In the beginning, the kidney is lobulated, but during infancy, the lobulation finishes. In the beginning, the hilum of the kidney faces forward, anteriorly or ventrally. But when the ascent of kidney takes place, the hilum faces medially. So the kidney rotates by 90 degree medially. So in this diagram again you can see formation of these two parts, nephrons and collecting duct. Now positional changes of the kidney. In the beginning, the kidney develops in the sacral region. Then the body, that is the pelvis, grows downward. So in this way we can say this is a relative ascent. And the kidney which were present in the sacral region and they were close to each other, they ascend and they come to lie in the dorsal wall in the lumbar region, and hilum is facing ventromedially. So that is how the kidneys they develop. Thank you.